Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As talks about today's video, Posterizer versus Slithery. Which would you rather have if you can only have one in NBA 2K23? It's a question I get extremely often that honestly, it took me a while to even find the answer for myself. I wasn't exactly sure what my answer was because, to my true honest opinion, I feel like the general majority of the public out there that is maybe more of a little bit of an up on their right stick type of guy or an X button dunker, not so much the dunk meter, would much prefer Slithery. And you guys will have to leave in the comments for some people's also just intuition if they want to see other people's opinions than mine. Because my opinion is a tough one to answer with. Because obviously, with me using my dunk meter real consistently, we'll get into the mixtapes that I actually have for just some film on this for those who aren't really familiar with the channel in just a second here. But real quick, just to talk about each badge's power, Posterizer is obviously going to give you more contact dunks, period, and not to mention make more dunks in traffic, where if you are just someone that's maybe, let's say even if you are a quick drop type of guy, that's going to be just as simple as I'm running straight at the hoop, my defender was behind me, now a rotating defender is dropping down, what is going to help me make the dunk? Posterizer over Slithery, 100%. And it's really just off the fact that contested dunking still pops up for Slithery and it's still going to help you make contested dunks. Same goes for maybe contact alley-oops or alley-oops in traffic, or just regularly, just again, with quick drops or regular dunks in traffic with someone near you. Posterizer is going to help with that. Now, Slithery is going to guide you into more dunks. It's going to obviously, as you can see by the details of this badge, increase a player's ability to slide through traffic, protect the ball from being stolen, and avoid contact during gathers and finishes at the rim. So, we're going to get into some film now, obviously straight out of the LakerFan YouTube, More Than Enemy God mixtape. I love these two mixtapes, bro. They are absolute, just such bangers, period. Now, these were both my original builds. As you can see, this one has 82 block and like 77 interior D. It's actually not my new build. I recreated this one and made it a little bit better. But regardless, on all these clips, I obviously have Poster and Slithery and Takeoff. It's all going to be just, you know, what I use for my typical like rim running-esque style. So it's going to be a lot of stuff in rec. I apologize for any of the edits and stuff that you don't want to see. A lot of it mixes up with the music and stuff like that. But just period, I want to showcase to you guys my playstyle and how, as you can see, a lot of the things that I do are going to be related to Posterizer. Now, that one clip that we just had right there earlier was obviously the acrobatic layups. Slithery is going to be a little bit more important in the acrobat style, or just in general, gathers like that, potentially. And I know, like, Slithery is not going to activate on things like this. For instance, this one directly before this. Like, this isn't a Slithery type finish or anything like that, even though, obviously, I use my X button, like, to spin. However, just for style like this, where if you're someone that is a little bit more of a finesse finisher, maybe like a Euro dunker, a spin dunker, a hop dunker, etc., or maybe you just flat out want to use your right stick for up on the directional, or you know, maybe just are an X button dunker, I think Slithery is potentially a little bit more important. However, you cannot deny the power of Posterizer. All these clips that I use dunk meter, they are significantly worse without Posterizer. Now, it's possible also that dunk meter is just so ridiculously good that you can overcome weak interior defenders, like, and just literally put them in a contact dunk meter, no matter what. Now, it's also possible that if it's a weak enough defender, regardless of what you have your Posterizer on, you can still put them in a dunk meter because of the power of it. It's so ridiculously good as far as getting you into the dunk meter, and neither badge makes it a bigger meter or anything like that either. And I would argue that you need both of them to be able to finish on elite defenders, like I'm talking people with 90 plus block rating or 90 plus interior defense. And honestly, just the two badges aren't going to get it for you alone. You have to be able to have some dunk meter in your bag. Now, that's why I want to make this argument real quick that I believe Posterizer is more important than Slithery, at least for my playstyle. And it's 100% true, because anytime that I have ever loaded up with a new build that I'm grinding or anything like that, I first go for Poster Core. The reason for that being, it's the easiest one for me to get. Period. Because obviously I get more contact dunks. Slithery is a little bit less active in terms of activating. Right there though, this is the type of dunk that I absolutely would vouch for with Slithery. As you can see, I do a Euro to get past this first defender, and then I kind of just crab him essentially, right? And then the second guy, this just gets glided straight into a dunk. Now, you could convince me otherwise or not. Just, you know, I don't think the activation of Slithery popping up in my top right corner is what I need to know about the activation of Slithery. To me, it's just more finesse finishes are about Slithery. Poster dunks like that I'm just absolutely stuffing people into the rim are about Poster. This is Posterizer, period. Like, that is the majority of what I'm really looking for. Now, to be fair, also, Slithery still helps with dunks like these. It's still going to help you get into the actual dunk animation itself. It's possible that without Slithery, you're a little bit more subjective as to what dunk animations you can actually get into, aka maybe without Slithery, more dunks like this potentially get kicked out of. This one is a tiny meter. It's a really like unmakeable dunk for most people as well, and this is just going to be something that you potentially get kicked out of with no Slithery. That's just how it is. So that's my take on the two badges. I just want to make the argument though for some people out there, and you guys can vouch for it if you maybe are someone that wants to be in the comments and just give your 2 cents on what you really feel about the two badges. But yeah, for the most part, that's about as much as I had to say about the two badges. I know it's a little bit of a short-winded video and I didn't really put too much explanation on this. Also, shout out to 2K for actually putting people in the Pro-Am arena. This is old footage and it looks so bland and ugly and just horrible without this stuff. Now, let's talk about this one as well a little bit. I know it's not a huge topic to be had, but this is Posterizer as well. Poster will still be activating on alley-oops, and to really address the major key of what I'm talking about right here, I'm sure a lot of you guys are maybe 6'9", and you can afford all of them anyway, and you can just get literally Slithery in tier 1, Takeoff in tier 2, you have like maybe 16 or 17 finishing badge points for Poster, and that's your one tier 3 that you run, and it's as simple as that. Now, for some people though, however, if you're 6'8" or below, you have to run Slithery, Poster, and Takeoff all in tier 3. So this video is majority for people that are 6'8" and below, because we're talking to you for the most part. Some of you guys probably don't want to put your finishing badge counts all the way to 24 finishing badges to be able to get one of them with the core and 2 with the leftover 14 points you have. Yo, also this theater gameplay was wild, bro. I was in a different bag with this slashing stuff, bro, when in the park, but honestly, it is what it is. I'm having fun with the Pro-Am stuff too, and we're gonna get into 5 out pretty soon as well. But anyway, to backtrack to what I was talking about, obviously, like I was saying, if you're 6'8" and below, tier 3 for all of 3 of the badges, and you have to make a decision if you have less than 24 finishing. Now, it is possible to run a double finishing badge core, but the thing is, I believe the double finishing badge core is only a season 3 thing, and it definitely is now that I think about it. So if you didn't already do it in season 3, there's no way of you getting access to that, and that'd be a huge core badge pattern for some people who maybe don't care about shooting quite as much, because for me, that was a huge difference maker in being able to maybe run, let's say, a lower finishing badge count on a build that maybe I still do want Posters like Takeoff and Slithery. If I were to make a 6'8", and it only had like 16 or 17 finishing badge points, it would still be affordable off just the fact that it has double finishing core. Now, it's unlikely to do so. Let me be with you guys, you have to put a pretty poor amount of finishing on your build to be able to get only 16 finishing badges if you really want to have like 93 dunk or something like that, which is what you would really be vouching for anyway. Now, the counterpoint to that could be maybe you make a 6'9" that has, let's say, maybe only 86 dunk, right? And that puts you at around 66 driving lay, and I believe also just really low close shot requirements, really low standing dunk requirements. You don't really have to have too high on either of them. That leads you to a whole new topic, because then if you're talking about 6'9s that can't afford Poster in the tier 3, then the question becomes, should I be okay with running just Slithery and Takeoff? And I think the answer in that situation would be yes. If you make a 6'9 that only has 86 like driving dunk and that's all you get for your finishing, you probably don't care too much about it. I'm gonna assume if you made a build that only has just that 86 dunk and maybe like 75 vertical for the pro contacts, that you're gonna be content with maybe doing that just off the fact that you have elite defense, or your style is maybe more like play sharp-esque, where it's a lot of playmaking, a lot of shooting, and maybe you don't even care about contact dunks anyway. Maybe you're just here to get Takeoff, and I don't know why you clicked on the video if so, but honestly, that is my take on it. If you're 6'9", I definitely would vouch for the fact that Takeoff and Slithery is doable if you have a low finishing badge count. If you have enough to get Poster with that 6'9" in that tier 3, obviously, then it's still pretty convenient. But for the 6'8" and below builds, for the people that can only get 2 of the 3 finishing badges, unless you have the double core, I would suggest, personally, in my true interest, to run Takeoff and Poster. Slithery, it can be done without it, but you gotta be a dunk meter bag. You gotta have this in your bag. Otherwise, I would probably vouch for Slithery. However, you can make the counterpoint too that Joe also has the same predicament as you guys, where he ends up having a build that's 6'8" and he doesn't run a double finishing core because he wants the double playmaking. He finds it more necessary for obviously how he runs. Now, the thing is, he runs Poster and Takeoff, and I think he's a bit more of like an up on the right stick, X button kind of dunker. It is 99 dunk, however, we should keep that in mind as well, whereas like me, I usually run with like 93 dunk, 94 dunk, stuff like that. But if there's anything to vouch for it, it's one of the other really good dunkers in the game, and he only uses Poster and Takeoff. He doesn't use Slithery, so if there's any big vouch between the two of us that means, essentially, it's that we both believe that Poster is more important than Slithery, period. And that takeoff is by far the most important too, because we'll never think about not running it. You know, that's just how it is. But anyway, that's all for video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to one to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put Slithery or put Poster in the comments to show your support that you made it all the way through, and put whichever one you actually value more and which one you run personally between the two if you're someone that's stuck between only running 2 of those 3 elite finishing badges. But anyway, that's all for video. Shout out to these mixtapes clips too, bro. This is so fun. I'm really thankful for the early part of the year time that we had on 2K23 because this was some real fun gameplay for me, bro. Shout out to Zeke for this type of stuff too. One of my IRLs that was just having a lot of fun with us in the beginning of the game too. Or even like Tonic that was always playing these park runs. And just the fun looking back at some animations like the Zach Levine behind the back that I used to use. Or for instance, maybe certain little gathers and stuff like that I used to really have in my repertoire. And just like the Jalen Suggs, and again the Zach Levine behind the back right there. I was using Donovan Mitchell crossover, and all these are viable. And I just gotta say too, again, the fun meter on the dunk meter is so high on the list, bro. It's so fun playing like this. You have to try and pick it up if you haven't already. And again, I think it can be absolutely done with no Slithery. I think Poster is absolutely the way you can like still get stuff like this to go. And I was still even using my 6'6" build, the little big man, in case you guys aren't familiar. So let's segue over to this gigantic bust right here of a build. 6'6", 265 pounds. And as you can see, the finishing badge count that I have, again, being 6'8" and below, I only get access to Takeoff, Poster, and Slithery as far as the tier 3s go. However, I'm not running Slithery yet. As you can see, I have very minimal progress on this core progress, and it's really just because, again, I find it much easier to core Posterizer, and I find it that I'm going to get access to that at the earliest point of any of these tier 3 badges. Because as you can see, it has a lot of progress on gold, and the Takeoff has decent progress. It kind of depends how I play. Because honestly, in rec, I can get Takeoff done pretty quickly if I'm ball hogging like pretty hard, but I'm a pretty different situation than most people. I have like 4 guys that are down to hop on and just kind of, you know, let me play, let me 5 out in rec, and that's not often that people will get an opportunity like that. So the thing is though, I get Takeoff really easy while doing that because I can just dunk meter with easy blow-bys, take active pretty consistently. Also, that's a good tip for you guys as well. If you are looking for a takeover to run as a slasher, easy blow-bys is definitely your answer. Do not be running finishing moves. Easy blow-bys increases your dunk meter size on even open dunks as well. Finishing moves only does contact dunks, but that's the thing. You also get contact dunk meter to be increased in your like size and your ability to just make it, period, with easy blow-bys too. And it also adds the ability to, you know, just blow by your defender as well. Finishing moves is more for like alley-oop finishing and stuff like that. If you ask me, it'll still get you more contact dunks too, absolutely. But believe in the easy blow-bys power. Trust that. Now, maybe finishing moves is something that's more X button related, where maybe it does get you like way more contact dunks if you hold your X button as opposed to if you run easy blow-bys. But for me, in my experience, easy blow-bys activates the contact dunks at a tremendous rate even still with the dunk meter. So it's all I need. And why not use your dunk meter on Takeover if it's significantly easy to make no matter like what it is, you know, whether it's open or contested. So anyway, that is all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, for drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to 1 to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, and like the actual end, put logo in the comments. Or you could put big in the comments, so sports mail through. But anyway, that's all. Appreciate you guys watching. I know it's a little bit of a shorter video, but it's cool. I do like appreciate the fact that some people want to hear information like this from me. And I wanted to give my take on it and also what I predict other people's take on it would be. But to finalize that, and we'll call it good after this point in the video, I truly do think Takeoff and Poster are by far the best 2 things you could run. Slithery, a little bit more of an accessory and afterthought. But anyway, that's all for video. Appreciate you guys watching. Other than that, take these, man. Peace.